talk shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. So I'm on my own today, and I'm looking forward to spending time with you guys. So today we're talking about a relationship, how to maintain your relationship, your relationship's resolution. So we are going to cover relationship resolution basics. Um, Take care of yourself first, how you take care of yourself first. And we're also going to cover the benefits of doubt mentality. And we're going to basically cover change your blame them mentality. And we're going to cover learn more about the projecting mindset and building compassion. And we're going to cover change your mindset, thinking before you speak in a relationship. And we're going to cover maintain your own boundaries, how to maintain your own boundaries. And then we're going to cover use affirmation to stay on course, the benefits of your relationship. And uh, um, so what's gonna happen is if I don't manage to cover all these things, I think we can always have part two of um, the video. So everyone is taking a break today. It's just me on my own. So when it comes to relationship, there is so much that we need to think about. We need to think about basically the conflict, how to deal with the conflict. We need to think about basically sometimes there could be like when it comes to December New Year resolution, there were times where people believe that it's time to part ways. They're like, we've been going through these challenges, so it's time to part ways. And I'm going to cover all that. I'm trying to find my live video so I can see. Okay, so I'm going to cover all that. And as in relationship, you have to make sure that for your relationship to be better, for your relationship to be more wonderful in many years to come, we have to maintain that relationship. And when you maintain the relationship, it means you will live a happy life. And the importance, and if you have principles as well in that relationship, you you will live a happy life. So are you someone like most couples today that basically they have their relationship is filled with the good, with the bad things, with happiness, and with sorrow and conflict? So how is your relationship look like? Those who are in a relationship, how does it look like? You can think about it, maybe write it down. How does it look like? How does your relationship look like? And be honest. Just write it down. Have a think about it and write it down. How does it look like? If I was to ask you honestly right now, how does your relationship look like? Is everything okay in your relationship? So we're going to talk about forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the key in a relationship. For the two people to be able to move on, move forward, and live that beautiful life, and have maybe go to another year with a positive mind frame. So it is a must to forgive and forget. and let it go. We don't forget what's been done to us. But when I'm saying forgive and forget, it means when you forgive someone, when they make a mistake, you don't turn around and say to them, you know what, remember what you did last time. So forgiveness, it means that I am going to forgive you. I am going to forget. In my mind, of course, I'm going to forget by my conscious mind. eh, that information is always going to be there, but I'm going to forget and let it go of the wrong that you have done to me in the past. And then I'm going to forgive you. Are you someone who has been long been nursing some hurt within you? Some people, they feed the heart, they nurse it, they give vitamins, they they give all sorts so that that hurt build inside. So if you are someone who is finding it hard to forgive your partner, or who has found it hard to forgive them before, this is the perfect time. We are, how many months are we? 5 months away from Christmas? Oh my goodness. Yes, we are 5 months away from Christmas. So I think it is the perfect time, basically, for, if you are struggling to forgive your spouse, to actually forgive them. We are not far away from Christmas, and the actually this year 2022 has gone so fast. I actually did not realize, because I've been so busy. It has gone so fast, and we are not far away. So don't you think it is the right time to actually let everything go, instead of saying I'm gonna wait for New Year resolution to forgive? So for me, I believe that it is the perfect time to let things go, embrace the concept of forgiving. So if you embrace that concept of forgiving, and or are you someone who is refusing to forgive? And if you are refusing, if you are someone who is refusing to forgive, that could be poison slowly but surely seeping through your whole being. If it's filled with such bitterness, and eventually setting up a permanent wedge between the two of you. If you're refusing to forgive, just think about it. Is there anything in your heart that you're holding? Anything that is affecting your relationship with your spouse? When you forgive, so I just want to be clear with people, when you forgive, it does not necessarily mean you will condone the things done to you by your spouse. Forgiveness, it means that you have finally come to peace with whatever was done to you. In order for you have to finally come in peace. In order for you to finally move forward, it means you acknowledge what's been done to you. You acknowledge, but also you are letting it go, and not because not because you are stupid. Some people believe that when someone forgive, it means you are stupid. No, you're not. Forgiveness, people who forgive, they're very smart people, because you forgive and you want to live that beautiful life. And it means you are somebody who is a who knows how to problem evaluate, who knows how to evaluate their problems, because problem evaluation is a must when it comes to life, when it comes to relationship. But when you forgive, it means you have come to that point where you have evaluated your problems, and you have come to peace with whatever is going on in your life. And feel free to type and let me know the times where you have had to forgive. and let me know the times where you had to let go of that hurt. Feel free to type and let me know. When you come into the room, don't worry about people, don't worry about how people are going to judge you. Just feel free to type if you agree that problem evaluation is a must. So when you take time to evaluate your problems in a relationship, it means that you understand the power of communications. If you don't evaluate your problems, that means there is lack of communications. For others, it can be finances that are causing issues in the relationship. So you have to learn to discuss the problems and think about the ways that you can improve things and listen to the ideas of one another in order for you to have that equal share the decision in your life. So if you agree, please feel free to type. And feel free to say yes, I agree. Feel free to put a comment and tell me how your relationship look like. If you don't have a relationship, you can type, you can ask questions, and we can talk. So the good news is you can improve your relationship, it can have some improvement. All couples have their own strength when it comes to relationship. They have their own weaknesses. So you're gonna have to look at your relationship with your spouse. Please don't look at your relationship and start analyzing your relationship based on somebody else's relationship. So you look at your relationship, you look at your spouse, and then you sit down and discuss things that can actually turn things around. And talking things out basic is a good thing. It makes things better, and it makes you go back and think about the vows that you've made with your spouse. If you've not made those vows, it makes you think about how you both shouldn't take each other for granted in that relationship. It helps you to actually talk about romance and intimacy. When you have problems and you realize that I have problems. So tell me, what do you do when you speak about romance in your relationship? Do you talk about your sex life? I would like to know. I'm curious. Yes, people do. When you have problems and you learn to deal with problems, you learn to talk about romance, you learn to talk about intimacy. But when you have problems in your relationship, you can't go to romance, you can't go to intimacy, because inside, deep down inside, there is that anger. So but when you have dealt with problems, you're free. That means you make sure that you set your time aside to talk about problems, to laugh together, and to be playful together. You come up with ways of how you can make this part of your relationship better and happier. So tell me, how do you everyone has ways of how they deal with the relationship. I love to know if you're watching this video later, if you're watching me now and you are afraid. Hey Professor, how you doing? Thanks indeed. That's thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So feel free to actually and just communicate. How do you deal with things in relationship? How do you basically communicate with your spouse and to think about things to look forward to? What excites you? How do you sit down basically and plan? Like let's say maybe you're in a relationship, you are renting a home, Do you sit down and say and talk about planning to buy your own home? Those are some of the things that people do, or maybe probably the two of you would like to become fitter or healthier. Those are the things that can bring you guys together, or you can do things, fun things together, and write down goals, achieve the goals that you want together, or plan to cook meals, and or go for some strolls together, holding hands. Whatever you plan, whatever you plan, it will always bring joy, whether it's a small thing. Some people believe that for them to have that happiness, as everything's got to be big all the time. They have to plan big things. There's got to be something big. Small things that we take for granted, they bring happiness to our spouse. And so now, how do we take care of ourselves first? If you have any ideas how you would take care of yourself first before, because if you put your needs first, you are able to help your spouse to share that love that you found within, share with your spouse. You are able to live a happy life with your spouse if you are happy, if you are taking good care of yourself. There are some people who end up forgetting about themselves in that part of when they are in a relationship. They will do anything for their spouse. They even gonna tell their spouse that, you know what, honey, you are my world. I will do anything for you. Anything for you. I cannot live without you. If a man, honestly, I'm a woman. If a man tells me that I cannot live without you, I'll call him a liar. If you tell me that, honey, I love you with all my heart. I want to share this love that I have found with you. I will just believe you and say, I want to be with you, honey. But if you say to me, you know what, honey, I cannot live without you, I'll be like, what now? You can live without me. You lived without me before. So you can live without me. So when a man or a woman says, I can't live, maybe you guys are arguing or you are fighting, and they say, I can't live without you, I'll be like, I don't think so. You can live without me. So those are the words that you shouldn't say to someone, because we can live without anybody. We can live without our spouse. The only problem is if you love someone, you have to express your love in a proper way. Don't say, I cannot live without you. That is fear speaking in that heart, in that loving and caring spirit. So we need to speak from a place where uh, we're coming from a loving and compassion way. So if you are going through something with someone, don't tell them, I cannot live without you, because you can. You can live without that person. Just say, I love you. Whatever you decide to do, I'm here for you. I hear you. I hear our problems. I know that we've got things that we need to deal with. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep our relationship work. I'm willing to share my love that I have found within myself. I'm willing to share that love with you. I don't know where our relationship will take us. I don't know where we are going, but I know the ending that I want with you. The ending that I want to grow old with you, because that's the ending. No one enters a relationship and say, I want to split up with somebody. So we have this beautiful ending that I want to grow old with this person. I want to, maybe 100. My great grandmother died, she was 109, and I was glad that I was part of her. So when you are speaking to someone, make sure you speak in a loving and compassion way, where that person will believe the love that you have for them, the love that you share with them. So you see, it is important to put you first. So when I put me first, I'm able to look after anybody else. I'm able to look after my spouse, to share this love that I have within me. But if I neglect myself and say that I'm going to look after my spouse, that means my relationship is not going to work, because deep down inside, I will be miserable. So the best way is to take good care of yourself first. When you take good care of yourself first, it's very, very important for both parties to know how to take care of oneself. It's important to discover the importance of taking care of yourself first before anything else. I have my children. I have two children. I have two children in my life, and I look after myself first. In order for before I can take good care of them, I have to make sure that I take good care of myself. And self care is the key for a better relationship. Taking care of yourself, it means when you are in a relationship, it means that person you are sharing your life with, they will be happy, because when you know how to take care of yourself, and when you put that as a priority to fix your relationship, to self-care, you can apply everything that you know about self-care into your relationship. So if you feel happy, feel peaceful, that means you know how to take care of yourself in that relationship. But if you don't take good care of yourself, you will never have a happy and a peaceful relationship, because you need to take good care of yourself so that you can confront the issues that are in your relationship, in order for you to step into that place of where you grow your relationship, grow and stay committing to staying being okay, whatever happens along the way. I'm okay with it. I'm okay, because I take good care of myself, and I love myself. So you have to make a promise to yourself that I'm going to take good care of myself and do whatever it takes to remain okay. Once your happiness is complete, it depends with your partner and whatever they do. So you will end up feeling, if you don't take good care of yourself, you'll end up feeling powerless and fearful. So you want to feel that power within yourself. You want, when you are around people or around your spouse, you want to feel good about yourself, because you know how to take good care of yourself. So that is very, very important. And also a good reason for this is that your partner will never see you as someone emotionally dependent and needy on them when it comes to self-care, if you know how to look after yourself, and not live that fearful life. Some people live a fearful life, and the demands for care and attention is big when someone does not know how to take care of themselves. And one more reason that can be really, really a burden for one person to feel completely responsible for another person is if that person is not independent, if they don't, as when you enter a relationship emotionally, you have to be independent. And when you are emotionally building is bleeding as well, you have to be able to communicate yourself and communicate your feelings. If you are emotionally bleeding, that means you're lonely. You are in a relationship, but you're feeling alone. So if you are that someone who is in a relationship but feeling alone, so you can communicate your feelings to your spouse and tell them how you feel without making them feel guilty. Because sometimes um, people, they get busy. We get busy. Like, I have a business. um, I might get carried away with joy, with my business, and neglecting my family. But because I work on myself and I take good care of myself, I work, and when my family are at home, I I spend time with them. I have this time where I just sit there and just spend time with my family and just enjoy being with them. Is very, very important to actually making sure that emotionally you are fulfilled. And for you, in order for you emotionally to be fulfilled, you can't be fulfilled emotionally by your spouse. So those are the things as well that falls under self-care. Emotionally, I'm fulfilled. But then when I'm feeling alone, if I need a kiss, I can move and get a kiss to my spouse. I can get a hug to my spouse. I can, I can, I can, I can, I can communicate my needs and my want to my spouse. And then when I know how to do those things, I'll come from a place full of strength, empowering, and when you know how to take good care of yourself and you look after yourself, you have this the attribute of attraction and be able to uh, attract the other person because your character, you will provoke respect if you love yourself and emotionally you are fulfilled, and you want to share the love that you found within with somebody else. It will provoke respect, which it would then make you more desirable and lovable partner or wife or husband. When someone sees you desirable and lovable, all they want to do, they want to spend the rest of their time with you. They want to go to work. If can you imagine, you're married or you're not married, but you're in a relationship, your spouse, they always make you happy. Even if when you fight, they always come back, find ways to connect with you. What would you do when you go to work? You want to go to work, you get excited, but when it's time to go home, you make sure maybe you don't even have lunch so that you can get home and be with your family. But when someone has problems, they look at the time, they're like, what's the time? 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. It's time for me to go home. Do I really want to go home? They'll just go on the computer, find something to do until maybe 8 o'clock, until 9 o'clock or 9 p.m. Then they go home. Woman, she's eaten, the children are in bed, or maybe they don't have children. She's sitting there watching TV. Hello, honey. I don't want to be here, but anyway, I'm here because I don't want to be here. I'm not happy. They're saying that inside. But if their spouse is lovable and desirable, by the time it's 6 o'clock, I finish work at 5. By the time it's 6 o'clock, they want to get home. They just want to be with their family. Or maybe you finish at 5, like me, 5:30. I'm not sure you're driving. How long it does it take? For me, it doesn't take long. By the time you get home, you just want to be with your family because you are lovable. Your spouse, they are lovable, they are desirable, and you basically want to spend time with that person because emotionally they look after themselves. Emotionally, they are not like needy. And sometimes you can be in a relationship and be happy, but emotional bleeding. but then you have to communicate, because your spouse, they wouldn't know how you're feeling. Sometimes it could be at work, there are some things that are upsetting you, so you have to communicate with your spouse. Don't feel alone. It is okay to go through the challenges in life, but you have to learn to share them with somebody else. And when you learn to share things with someone, your spouse are there for you to share, you to have the courage to share your troubles, have the courage to share things that makes you happy, things that the challenges that you are facing in life. And that's what relationship is about. So you can do that. And how do we commit to staying happy with our lives despite feeling miserable? There is no need, when it comes to life, there is no need for you to wait to plan some fun activities. You can do funny activities on your own until you get your relationship perfect. So if your relationship is not working, you can still plan to do funny activities if you want. You can join classes, you can join dance classes, you can learn interesting things. Maybe there are some things that you loved in the past. Maybe there are some it's like cooking lessons. You can join. Maybe you can learn to play a guitar and play a keyboard. You can list down the places in your area or nearby that you can visit and learn new skills, and just create and broaden your own personal world. You don't need to, if your relationship is not going well, you don't need to wait until it gets better. You can still do things. The reason why you do things, you still have to do things. It will give you time to actually look at the relationship, look at your relationship. When you are doing things on your own, it makes you analyze things and see the things that we human beings take for granted. When people get together for the first time, they make an effort, visit places, they make an effort to make sure they are communicating their want, they make an effort to make sure they plan date nights, so many things that people do. But when they are together for a very long time, when they've been together for a long time, they don't feel the need. There are some men or women that when they are working, earning good money, they believe that my wife or my spouse should not complain. If I'm earning good money, I'm bringing good pay, I'm supporting my family, she should not complain or he should not complain that I'm not spending time with them. But that's not right. So um, if you are blessed with a good life, so you also need to bless your family with the time. Give them some time. If you are blessed financially, and you are blessed emotionally, and you are blessed with all these material, the little things, nice houses, nice car, so you can bless your family by spending time with them. And because life is too short, so you can bless your spouse. Guys, feel free to type and communicate with me. You can bless your spouse just by giving them time or taking them out, understanding their love language. For me, if my spouse goes out and buy me something, that's not my love language. But if he goes and buys a supermarket and gets some popcorn, and spend time with me, or just go out for a meal where I can talk to him and communicate with him. It's those little things, or just sit down date night and do some games and do some things and talk and just have fun like children and play like children. I love that. To me, that is my love language. That's how I love to spend my time. I love um I love to, for me, basically the little things that you do for me. If you go and buy me present, I appreciate it, but it's not the same like if you give me 1 hour, just spend time with me. We do spend time with together 1 hour, but um we end up fighting because we play in the games, and when we play in the games and somebody wants to play longer and somebody does not want to play longer, and then we have to compromise and say, let's do something like sit down and talk and watch TV. So that's what we do. But I love spending time with my family. I love spending time with my spouse, and going out for meals and be at home, and can buy me present is fine. But every time for me, basically, my present is every single day, is having my family with me. You can go and buy me clothes or buy me something or perfume and things like that, but it's not going to be the same like spending time with me. So the reason I'm saying this is there are some people that never ask their spouse their love language, and they'll say, oh, she will love it, he will do this, and then it becomes a burden inside, and there's no forgiveness. Communicate your needs and tell your spouse what you want. That is as simple as that. For me, if there is something that I want from my spouse, like if I want time, I ask for it. If I want time with my children, I ask for it. If I want time with my mom, I ask for it. My mom lives in Africa. If I go home, I I want to have intimate time with my mom, just me and her. Going shopping, talking, looking at things around, asking questions. How is she been? Is she okay? I love that. Holding hands, of course. I love my mom so much. So I love that. So that's how I was raised. For me, family is very, very important. So you have to look at your spouse and just find out what the things that they want without doing things that you think they like. And then you find that they don't like. Just get to know your spouse. Even if you've been married for 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, there's still new things. Your spouses, they're growing inside. And okay, if you say, I know my spouse and we've been married for maybe 10 years or 15 years, that means I'm not growing, I'm a dead body. That my spouse knows me as somebody who likes, what do I like? Let's put football. And then he's going to keep saying she likes football, nothing else, instead of getting to know me, asking questions, and just getting to know me, the things that I like. I like. So that is part of a relationship, just to get to know your spouse, and also loving yourself and learning to self-care. Learning self-care is very, very, very important. And so you can also learn how to have the benefits of the doubt mentality. No relationship will thrive and become successful if one is always doubtful. So you don't have to doubt your spouse. The other words, if the the other words, feeling and actions have so-called benefits of the doubt mentally, can greatly help in changing the flow of your relationship to the best direction. So if you are somebody who is doubting your spouse and doubting your relationship, your relationship will not work. So give your spouse the benefits of the doubt. So I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever done some stupid things? Maybe dumb or hateful things which greatly affected your spouse. I was watching Shanda Sumter the other day and her husband, and she was telling her husband actually that she dumped him in one day 17 times. 17 times in one day before they go into personal development. And I was like, that is a lot of dumping in one day. But it shows that they're together, they're happy, and they can look back and embrace that dumping and talk about it, and somebody else can learn from it 17 times. And I used to do that myself before I got into personal development. And I'll get into a relationship when if some things are going well, I'm okay. And if things are not going well, so I'm like, this thing is not working. So I'll find my spouse, honestly, it's embarrassing talking about it now. And my spouse will be like begging me to say, you know what, I love you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And I would be like, things are not working. We basically, all I'll be thinking is the relationship has to end. So I'll find my spouse is begging, or sometimes I'll be I'll be doubting my relationship. I won't be communicating myself. I'll feel frustrated. But when I talk about it now, when I look back, it's embarrassing and it makes me laugh. But I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't stop talking to my spouse. It's something that I wouldn't do. And if my spouse makes me angry or it upsets me, I just let it out and forget about it and move on and forgive. That's what life is about. Life is about, in a relationship, there's not going to be a time where you're gonna um, just live happy. There will be some arguments. So we need to talk about the conflicts. So if you are somebody who has ever done some stupid things, dumb things, or hateful things which have greatly affected your relationship or your spouse, the chances are almost all the person in this world have unintentionally or intentionally hate someone they love. So you are not alone. So you don't have to be afraid. You can type there and say, yes, I have. I have had someone unknowingly. And all relationships are bound to experience their own share of conflict. So no relationship is like 100% no conflict. So every relationship has conflict. Every relationship, whether is confusion, whether is misunderstanding, whether is disagreement, or anything else. Some things will take place in that relationship that will result to tension. So that will make you feel angry, frustrated. You'll feel that angry, disappointed. You'll feel hurt and upset. So you have to understand that your partner, he or she is a human, just like everyone else. So now it depends with how you respond to your spouse's anger. So how you respond will give your partner the benefits of the doubt. If you respond however you want to respond. So what does it mean exactly when we give someone the benefits of the doubt? it only means that when you give someone the benefits of the doubt, you still lacking the needed information in that relationship. Even in times of conflict, you will still be willing to assume the best. Set aside the negative judgment maybe and respond in a favorable way to your spouse. Love itself can give the benefits of the doubt. It will not make the mind filled. It will not fulfill your mind with the negative assumptions, but it will seek to work its way around the difficult situation, even after being proven wrong or getting disappointed. Love can give us hope, can give us the little things. So let's talk about love. Knowing how to love someone is the key, is the critical component of your relationship, how you're able to live a happy life, how you are able to to have freedom in that relationship. You simply cannot expect someone to completely accept you for who you are and then expect perfection from them. You cannot accept them for who they are, but you don't demand perfection. Perfection is the word that exists in the dictionary. But you can't expect someone to 100% completely accept you for who you are, and then you demand the perfection from that person. You can accept them and then accept them for who they are with their mistakes. Accept them, love them. They come with mistakes. No human being comes with the perfection. That perfection word is in the dictionary and it stays there. I try my best. I'm not perfect. So unconditional love. Just give unconditional love. Unconditional love. And when you are in a relationship, patience is needed. When you are looking for the truth and trying to resolve conflict, jumping into a conclusion is not part of giving benefits of the doubt. You cannot jump into conclusion. You have to be in an understanding. It is important to try and put yourself in the shoes of the other person, because that person might be afraid of rejection. They might be afraid due to rejection, due to abandonment, or any other issues. Just assume that your spouse has tried to be truthful and grow with you before working with them towards it. And forgiveness is very important in that situation when you're going through things with your spouse. Forgiveness is very important, and the acceptance is very important. And the last but definitely not the least thing that you need to learn to forgive and forget. Never let yourself dwell in bitterness. When you finally let your anger go, let it stay in the past. Do not be in the cloud. Do not cloud, or do not let it cloud your mind over and over again. If someone forgets your birthday, forgive them. They forget it anniversary. There are some men, women don't forget, because women is the story. Women don't forget their wedding anniversary or the day they've met their spouse or maybe how with the day they got engaged. They don't forget those things because it's the things that they keep reminding their friends. When they're with their girlfriends, they'll keep talking about it. Oh, I remember those days when we got married. I remember those days. When it comes to women getting married, their wedding anniversary is like a birthday to them, so they'll never forget. But there are some that will forget. Life gets busy. People forget. Even a woman can forget, or a man can forget. But when a man forgets your anniversary, mostly it's men, they they forget. But when they do, don't hold them captivity. Do you remember last time? You remember when you forgot my anniversary? So when a man does something wrong, when a woman does something wrong, you know what? Do you remember? You even forgot our anniversary maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You will remember the date, the time, everything, how they forgot your anniversary. So you don't have to do that. We're all human. My daughter was telling me the other day, which I didn't know. She might have told me, maybe I forgot that she forgot her daddy's birthday and then remembered after 3 days. But normally would talk about it when it in everyone's birthday. When it comes up, we always talk about reminding each other. So I don't know what happened. Um, but that's just life. People forget things, so you don't have to hold them captivity and say, oh, you remember when you forgot my birthday. And that is called blame in a relationship. And when blame and fault um, is all bind together, is basically it becomes the biggest issues in couples. So it becomes a big problem. And every man or every woman who would try to defend themselves and try to protect themselves, and that becomes much stronger once you get closer to another person with all the feelings that has been triggered by the present moment, the situations. That means things have not been dealt with properly. If you want to improve your relationship, make it thrive and last longer. Here the key lies on knowing and challenging these defenses that you have, which is no blaming instead of adapting to the blame, then mentality, and choosing to focus your attention on the flaws of your spouse. Why not? Why don't you look, instead of looking at those things, why don't you look at your own limitation first? I call myself out. I check myself out whenever I'm doing all these things in my relationship, or whenever things are not working out. I check myself out first. The things in my life that are not working. So what do you need to avoid? Avoid building. So I'm gonna leave with you with this. Avoid building a case. When it comes to relationship, love is not about building a case with your spouse. Avoid. Conflict will rise in anyone's relationship. It will rise and it will fuel fire and fire and fire and fire, and there will be proof of evidence, characters, and there will be flaws exchanged. And but avoid building a case against your spouse. Drop it. It means, okay, I'm gonna drop it and let it go. Then you calm down. Learn to communicate your feelings. You calm down, you avoid building a case with your spouse. Drop it. It means let it go. Calm down. Whenever you're having a conflict with your spouse, calm down. Communicate your feelings. It's very, very important for you to communicate your feelings in a relationship so that you can have a loving and fulfilling relationship with yourself and with your spouse. So that's what I live with. We are here at Ngosi Talk Shows Monday to Friday, 1 p.m. UK time. If you are looking for love, you can go to www.hseia.com and get in touch with us at Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency. With men, the registration is different. With the women, you can register online. The reason why the registration is different for men and women, men are my clients. So women are members within the HSCIA. So when you register as a man, you can fill out the application form. That will save me time. That's fine. But for men to be able to join the agency, I need to meet you face to face. I meet all women and men face to face. So if you are a man and you are successful, you're looking for love, you want me to head hunt for you, all you do is you go on the website, fill out an application form. Once we receive your application form, we will arrange a meeting to come to your home. And the reason why we come to your home is your home is a place where you feel comfortable. It's a place where you live 24/7. So we come and have a chat. It's no interview. We just find out what has worked, what hasn't worked. And then after that, if we feel that we can actually work as a team, if you are happy and you are happy, we would then we would then uh, uh, go forward with the application form. If we don't come to your own home, we can go to a mini date. For a mini date, when we go for a mini date, and that's when go to your home first, and then we go to a mini date. In that way, we get to know you as a person, and once we get to know you as a person, then we are able to help you find the love that you are looking for as a man. So that's how the process of HSEIA. And the process for women, you go on the website, you fill out an application form, we have a Zoom chat. And once we have a Zoom chat, if we have a match for you as a woman, you find a man for you, then we have to meet you face to face before we introduce you to our client. That is simple, straightforward. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless.